Welcome to our deep dive today. We're taking a look at VO2, Google DeepMind's cutting-edge AI, and it's turning the video generation world on its head. We're talking AI creating high-quality video just from text prompts.
It's wild, like having a Hollywood film crew
Yeah.
at your fingertips, ready to bring any idea to life just from words you type.
Okay, so what is VO2 before we get lost in the possibilities?
So VO2, it's an AI model designed for taking your text prompts and turning them into videos. What makes it so different, it's pushing boundaries. Realism, creative control in AI video, like we've never seen.
We've all seen AI image generators, but video, that's a whole other thing, right?
Oh, absolutely. Video adds a challenge. Motion, timing, physics, it needs to look natural. And AI struggles with that. But VO2, it's tackling it head on.
Yeah.
And the results are really impressive.
What can it do? What are we talking about here?
Well, one thing that stands out, it's realistic movement. It's not just stitching images together. It simulates the physics of how things move in the real world. You don't get that jerky, artificial look.
And the video quality itself, what's that like?
Oh, VO2 can output up to 4K. So the visuals are super sharp, detailed. You also have a ton of control over the camera, angles, movements, even lens types, just like a real director.
Wow, okay. So much control. It's a lot to take in. But it's not just about photorealism, right? What about different styles? Can it do that?
Absolutely. It's not a one-trick pony. It can do photorealistic or go stylized, like a cartoon or animation. It really opens up so many possibilities, so creative.
I'd love to see what this can do. You mentioned some examples earlier, some prompts and videos.
Let's jump into those. One that really shows VO2's skills. At capturing emotion and atmosphere, it's called the DJ. The prompt describes a female DJ, completely lost in the music. The instructions tell the camera to use close-ups, shallow depth of field, and lots of neon colors.
I'm intrigued. How did that turn out?
Oh, the video is amazing. It really pulls you in. You can practically feel the music, see the DJ's focus, and the club atmosphere. It's more than a video. It tells a story, visually.
That one's going on my list.
Yeah.
What else is there?
Another cool one, the breakfast scene, all about visual details and slow motion effects. The prompt talks about things like syrup on pancakes, bacon sizzling, coffee swirling, all those mouth-watering details.
I'm already hungry. Did it capture all that deliciousness?
Oh, it nailed it. The way it handles motion, those slow motion shots, it's incredible. Like you can smell the coffee, feel the pancakes. It creates an experience, not just images.
These examples are blowing my mind. Our listeners are going to want to see these for sure. We'll make sure to link them in the show notes.
Definitely. Oh, and one more before we move on. The beekeeper. This one describes a beekeeper in a beautiful setting, sun-drenched. It even specifies a 35mm lens and Kodak Portra 400 film for that classic cinematic look.
It can replicate film styles too. Amazing.
Right. It's not just about generating video. It understands and mimics artistic styles. It's like a virtual cinematographer, fluent in the language of film.
All these examples are so impressive. I'm curious how it stacks up against other AI video generators.
Yeah.
Is it really the best out there?
Well, people seem to think so. It beats other models based on their feedback, and there's data to back it up. Meta released a benchmark dataset. It's called Movie GenBench, specifically designed to evaluate these models.
So it's like a standardized test for AI video generators.
Yeah, exactly. And VO2 scored the highest in terms of preference, meaning people actually liked its videos the most compared to the others. It also did well on accuracy, following the prompts. So it's creating beautiful videos, yes, but it also understands and executes the vision.
Big win for Google DeepMind then. But even with all this progress, I'm sure there are limitations. What can't it do yet?
Of course. Creating complex scenes with consistent realism, intricate motion, that's still tough. Even for VO2, there's this one prompt, Queen in the Palace. It's a very complex scene, lots of details. Lighting, costumes, the atmosphere of a grand palace.
And what happened? Did it struggle?
Yeah, a bit. It was hard for it to keep all those details consistent. Throughout the video, some parts looked really real, others not so much. It reminds us that even the best AI is still evolving. It has limits.
Right, makes sense. Like trying to paint a huge detailed mural with a tiny brush. Sometimes you need a bigger tool.
Exactly. But the fact that it can even try to create something like Queen in the Palace, that shows how far it's come. And it points to the future. As these models handle complexity and detail better, the possibilities are endless.
This has been amazing. A great first look at VO2. Our listeners are going to be just as excited as I am. But let's take a break here, and we'll pick things up in part 2. We'll get more technical then, how VO2 works its magic, and we'll talk about some ethical considerations too.
Looking forward to it. See you there. Picking up where we left off. One of the things that's amazing about VO2, it doesn't just make videos, it understands and responds to complex creative prompts.
Like it's reading your mind and making your thoughts into moving pictures.
Exactly. And it's not just basic instructions, it's the nuances, the emotion, the style you want. Remember that DJ example? The prompt wasn't just make a video of a DJ, it described a mood, a feeling. And VO2 got that through the visuals, the camera, even the colors.
That's what makes it different from those older AI video generators. They were so clunky. This one understands creative prompts, not just technical stuff.
Right. And that changes everything. For content creation, imagine anyone, even without technical skills, making pro-quality videos just by describing their vision.
Wow. That's huge. It's like everyone has a film crew in their pocket. But how does it work? Technically speaking, what's going on behind the scenes?
Good question. It's complicated, the inner workings of AI. But I can simplify it. VO2 uses a neural network. It's like the human brain.
Yeah.
It's trained on tons of data, text and video.
So it's like giving the AI this giant library of information about how things look and move.
Exactly that. And as it learns, it finds patterns, relationships between text and visuals. It builds a model of how the world looks.
I see. So when you give it a prompt, it uses all that knowledge to make a video that matches. It's like having this super visual imagination.
That's it. And the more data it gets, the better it becomes. At making realistic video, it's always learning.
That's pretty cool. I mean, kind of scary too, honestly. But let's talk about ethics. You mentioned that before. Great power, great responsibility, right?
Absolutely. With tech this powerful, we need to be careful. Think about the benefits and the risks. And one big concern, misuse, especially deepfakes.
Deepfakes are already a problem, even with the tech we have now. Can you explain them? Why are they so bad?
Sure. A deepfake. It's a video manipulated with AI to make it look like someone's doing something they didn't. It's like a digital forgery, and it can be very convincing.
I've seen some. It's really unsettling how real they look. And I bet it's going to get worse, right, as AI gets better.
That's the worry. As these models get more advanced, it'll be easier to make deepfakes and harder to spot them. It's serious.
So what can we do? Can we even control something this powerful?
That's the question. And it's not easy to answer. It'll take a lot. Technology, guidelines, awareness.
So it's not just a tech issue, it's a societal one.
Exactly. On the tech side, people are working on tools to detect deepfakes, like finding a digital fingerprint to tell if a video has been faked.
That sounds promising. But is technology enough?
No, we also need ethical rules for how we develop and use this tech.
To make sure it's used for good and not for harm.
Right. And just as important, public awareness. People need to know about AI-generated content, the good and the bad. What you see online might not be real.
It's like a new kind of media literacy. We have to be critical thinkers, question what we see and hear online.
You got it. We can't just trust everything anymore, especially online. But we also need to remember VO2 can do good things too.
Yeah, we haven't talked about that much. What are some ways it could be used for good?
Lots of ways. Education. Imagine interactive textbooks. Historical events come alive, science simulations, language learning that feels real. It makes learning fun and effective.
It's like those educational videos,
But
way better.
exactly. And think about people with disabilities. VO2 can make content accessible or create assistive technology. Someone who can't speak could use it to generate words. Someone with limited mobility could control a virtual avatar.
That's amazing. Using tech to help people, make the world more inclusive.
That's the idea. But like any powerful tool, we have to be thoughtful, make sure it benefits humanity, not hurts it.
This has been a really interesting conversation. It's exciting to see how AI is changing things, and a little scary too.
It is, and this is just the start. Who knows what the future holds for VO2 and for AI video?
We've covered a lot today. The tech behind it, the good and bad, the ethical stuff. But there's more to talk about. In our last part, we'll focus on the creative side, how VO2 could change different industries, filmmaking, advertising, education, and more. Join us for the final part. So we've gone deep on VO2, the tech side. Now let's zoom out, think bigger picture. How will this actually change things? What can we imagine?
It's huge. It really is. VO2 could change so many things. Industries, how we do things. It's like the early internet days. We know it's big, but we're just starting to get it.
Let's start with filmmaking. That's the obvious one, right?
Yeah.
How could VO2 change movies and videos?
Think about it. Directors. Seeing their scenes come to life instantly. trying different angles, lighting, even character stuff, all driven by AI. It would change everything. Pre-production would be so much faster, more dynamic.
Like a virtual film set, you could try anything. No limits of budget or real-world stuff.
Exactly. And it's not just for Hollywood. Think about indie filmmakers, students, anyone. They could make pro videos without needing fancy equipment or big crews. It's democratizing filmmaking.
That's a big idea. Anyone with a story can tell it. Visually. What about advertising? How would it change that?
Well, ads are already personalized, targeted. But VO2, it takes that to another level. Imagine ads made just for you by AI based on what you like.
Whoa, that's a lot. It's impressive technically, but also a little creepy, privacy manipulation, all those things come up.
You're right. It's powerful tech. We need to use it ethically, have conversations about it, make sure it helps people, not hurts them.
Good point. Let's stay positive, though. What about education? I can see this changing how we learn. Big time.
Oh, totally. Interactive textbooks. Imagine history coming alive. Science experiments you can do virtually. Learning languages in realistic scenarios. It makes learning fun. And you learn better, too.
That's like those old textbooks. But they're alive now, engaging.
Exactly. And for people with disabilities, VO2 could make things accessible, create assistive tech. Imagine if you can't speak. But you can use VO2 to generate words from your thoughts. Or if you have limited mobility, you could control a virtual avatar.
That's incredible. Breaking down barriers, giving people new ways to communicate, connect with the world.
And it all comes back to this. AI is powerful, but it's a tool. It depends how we use it, what we value, what kind of future we want.
We have to be careful, thoughtful, inclusive, make sure AI helps us.
This deep dive into VO2, it's been quite a journey. Amazing technology, mind-blowing possibilities, big ethical questions. We're at the beginning of something big. It's exciting and a bit scary, too.
But like you said, knowledge is power. The more we know, the better we can handle the challenges and grab the opportunities. And I think VO2 is just the start. AI is changing everything, and we'll keep talking about it.
Absolutely. This is just the beginning. We all have a part to play
Yeah.
in shaping the future of AI. So to everyone listening, keep learning, keep asking questions. The future is happening now, and we all need to be a part of it.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us on this deep dive into the incredible world of VO2. Stay curious.